This presentation explains the prisoner's dilemma and the challenges it may present in the world of business, team dynamics, and peer grading. The prisoner's dilemma is a game theory classically involving two people in which cooperation and the temptation of promoting self-interest are set against each other. The reward offer is greater when each participant acts irrationally. These scenarios are commonly used in the field of psychological research and known as a non-zero-sum game. So how does the prisoner's dilemma scenario work? The prisoner's dilemma model postulates a condition in which the rational action of each individual is to not cooperate, that is, to defect. However, if both parties act rationally, each party's reward is less than it would have been if both acted irrationally and cooperated. For example, two men are being held for a crime. Each man is given a choice: cooperate and confess to the crime, or defect and deny any wrongdoing. The prisoner's dilemma has several applications in business. Companies often find themselves at an impasse when considering the competition and how to handle it. A company must decide to cooperate with their competition or compete against them. Often collaborating with a competitor allows a company to form an alliance of sorts in the markets that creates a duopoly. A duopoly occurs when two firms own a strong presence in the same market. An example of this would be Kimberly-Clark and Georgia-Pacific. Both companies produce the same type of products. While not directly collaborating with each other, these companies are able to simultaneously price their goods similarly, thereby maintaining the majority market share between the two companies. This situation requires a high level of trust between the companies, and each must behave in a non-competitive nature toward the other company to maintain market dominance. The prisoner's dilemma can be seen in advertising. When two companies decide to advertise, they often look to the main competitor to determine what type of advertising is taking place and when. Company A may choose to advertise during a certain time and see a return on investment. However, if Company B advertises at the same time, then the return of the investment is canceled out for both companies. In addition, when similar companies advertise a product, the result can be profitable for both companies. Generally, when very similar companies spend money on advertising, they are essentially passing their clients back and forth with little gain in market share. Brazou states that groups of people working interdependently to produce an outcome for which they hold themselves mutually accountable, and a weak, uncooperative team isn't just unproductive. It can make your job a daily grind of frustration and resentment. The prisoner's dilemma can manifest itself in a team when members promote their self-interest before the best outcome. Team dynamics is the interaction of people, and it's one of the most critical processes in project management. Creating a cooperative and cohesive team is one of the best ways to help team members accomplish the goal of the win-win. To develop a winning team and create effective team dynamics, the project leader and members should keep everyone informed of progress, current challenges, and future tasks. Furthermore, they should promote individual dignity, accomplish project goals in a timely manner, learn by challenging team members to take on multiple stakeholder roles, make sound decisions, and take ownership of their position in the group. When team members promote their personal interests above the goals of the organization, the risk for a lose-lose situation increases considerably. The prisoner's dilemma is commonly found in peer reviews. The most common is the single blind review. This is where the reviewer is given the name of the author, but the reviewer's name is kept secret. Also, the average work is reviewed by 2 to 3 reviewers. For the purpose of this project, we are demonstrating how a single blind review with 2 reviewers relates to the prisoner's dilemma. For simplicity reasons, a reviewer can say whether the author did a good job or a bad job. Because the reviewer knows the name of the author, it is possible that bias may play a role in the review, so the reviewer can give a bias or non-biased review. If bias is present, it could be for or against the author. So if both reviewers give a biased review, their outcome is very uncertain. And if the work is resubmitted to another reviewer which gives a non-biased review, the biased reviewer will appear to show poor character. For non-biased reviewers, they can only look good, and, as just as well for both reviewers, are non-biased or vice versa. Therefore, in any case, it is better to remain a non-biased reviewer, since the main reason for reviewing an author's work is to gain status. So how does one avoid the psychological issues of the prisoner's dilemma? Remain unbiased in your decision-making and promote the interests of the group above all else. This leads to a higher probability of success. The prisoner's dilemma cannot exist if you're a team player.